Today we'll begin with a new chapter, that is chapter 50. Guru Nath's blessings on the Nawab. This chapter illustrates the merit one earns by visiting holy people. The Nawab, who was a washerman in his previous life but born into a royal family in this life because of the blessings he had from Sripada Srivallabha, gains the darshan of Sri Narasimha Saraswati and gets cured of his physical ailment and also attains spiritual liberation. Oh my God. Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. Wishing you all a very happy morning. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswatai Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. So profound. Do you remember the story we did about the washerman where Shripad Srivallabha, makes him cross that 7 lines and then he adorns him with this vibhuti, the bhasma, and then he makes this washerman have a debate with the Brahmins, and at that time he reminds him about why he was a washerman and then how he then becomes a king in this life. Okay, I think I mixed 2 stories. My apologies. The story here about the washerman is he was thinking about how I wish I would become a king. And at that time, Shripad Srivallabha says, don't worry, you will be a king and I will bless you. To that, the washerman says, what is the use that by becoming a king now, where I will not be able to enjoy anything. But if I become a king in the next life, I will be able to enjoy the riches and, my position as well. So accordingly, Shripad Srivallabha blesses this washerman and he meets Sri Narasimha Saraswati and gets his spiritual weal. Sorry about the mistake. Apologies. So Siddha Muni earlier told Namdarak the story of the Rajak, the washerman devotee of Shripad Srivallabha. The Rajak used to serve Sripada Srivallabha with great love and devotion. Sripad Srivallabha was very much pleased with his services and as a reward for the services he rendered, blessed him so that he would enjoy all regal pleasures and would be freed from his life of drudgery. Actually, the Rajak was secretly longing in his heart of hearts for regal pleasures. See, the washerman was washing clothes when the king was visiting that place. And in his heart, he was saying, imagine I were to be a king. What happens? Why am I, suffering so much of misery and poverty in this life? And because he was serving Shripad Srivallabha, the Guru knows what is there in every disciple's heart. You need to understand, because the divine Lord Almighty, we say that, right? Lord Shri Krishna lives in everybody's heart, but they are covered through ignorance. They don't understand that the divine being rests within them. His innermost wish was understood by Shripad Srivallabha and he blessed him. But what we don't understand is that we think, oh, the Guru doesn't know. I have to ask. I want this. I want that. We only keep going to him only with our desires. You don't have to do that. Even if you don't ask, the Guru has anyway bestowed that grace upon you. This is the greatness of this Guru. That is his nature, the Charitra. This morning, my Krishna Guruji taught a very beautiful lesson, to which he said, look, people do come to me. They don't understand who I am or what this greatness of a Guru or divine Lord Mighty is. I am not going to tell them who I am. I don't even want to, show them who I am, or I am not going to perform any miracles. But even after them performing many mistakes, committing many mistakes, I will still forgive them because they are ignorant being. And what does it mean? He's saying to being divine is to forgive, is to pardon people because they are filled with ignorance. But being godliness is equal to divine, is goodness. Godliness equals to goodness, which means they will always forgive. They are compassionate being. So he told me, look, no matter what anybody does, you have to give them n number of chances and keep forgiving them. You cannot leave your good nature, your good self have to be there at all times. Even the person might be worst creature, he might be behave bad, he might talk in an uncouth language, he might even insult you, no matter what happens, but never leave your goodness and that one you stand for, that dharma, the righteousness, the truthfulness. We don't do anything wrong in this world. When you are on the side of dharma, please remember Lord Sri Krishna is on your side. A very beautiful thing happened yesterday and I literally witnessed this truth. You cannot do anything wrong, doesn't matter how the system is. My Guruji always said, always speak the truth. Even in the worst possible circumstances, never say anything lie. You don't have to lie. You're not doing anything wrong. When you're not doing anything wrong, there is no need to say lie or be untruthful, or try to hide something or even be fearful. You don't even have to fear anything. When you know that the divine Lord Almighty is on your side, what is there to fear? Why should you fear? And whom are you fearing? What are you fearing for? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. So my Guruji said, it's okay. You have to forgive people. They will do the mistakes. Like many of people don't recognize who my Guruji is just because he is in a Western attire. He wears a simple t-shirt and a jeans pant or a short. But everybody believes that you need to have a certain attire or, they have to wear a glamorous costume so that they will be recognized as the divine masters. But the truth about who this divine master is never understood by us. You take Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji, you take Ramana Maharishi, you take Mirabai, Tukaram, Kabir, all the great saints, and even the Dashavatar of the Lord Sri Krishna himself. Every avatar, he came in a certain form and that form had a purpose. The purpose was always to uplift the dharma, establish spirituality, establish faith in God and show the path of righteousness. How do you walk the path of righteousness? And the dharma, what is relevant at that time, every divine master came to establish that. There was nothing more than that. What are they only doing? They're only teaching you the good stuff. So it is extremely important for you to understand you don't have to do anything wrong, anything bad. But please remember, the point I'm driving home here is the Lord rests within you. He knows exactly what you want. And please remember, He will fulfill everything that your innermost heart desires. You don't have to run after anything, but all you need to do is be very good in your duties, be disciplined, go walk that path of dharma, be righteous, be truthful. And when you do all of this at the God's appointed timing, everything will be fulfilled. And this story gives us that more, it is teaching us that. This is actually telling us, don't worry, when the Guru's grace is on your head, when his hand of benediction is on your head, what can befall you? But as a body, we all have to suffer for our prarabdha karma. But even the prarabdha karma is cushioned by the Gurudev. So you need to understand the greatness of this Guru, because nobody can decipher a Guru, nobody can comprehend a Guru in adequate words. He's beyond comprehensible, he's incomprehensible, inscrutable and unfathomable. You can never ever comprehend. That is why Lord Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even the wise men, even the Vedas and the Shrutis cannot comprehend this truth. Nobody can describe who Lord Sri Krishna is. His greatness is immeasurable. He's Athanga Sagar, limitless ocean. Can anybody know him? The word Krishna means secretive, unknown. But what is he doing? Only those few blessed ones have the privilege to just be in his company. The company of the sages and the saints, the holy people, is very, very crucial. When you have this company itself is good enough to redeem your life and to eternity. But don't lose this opportunity. The lesson my Guruji was saying today was, he said, there is always a choice I give people. I show both the sides, the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Now, I'm not going to go in deeper giving you a deeper understanding of what this Kshetra and Kshetrajna is, go listen to my Krishna Guruji satsang of Bhagavad Gita yesterday morning and evening. You will learn from that. He has very nicely explained. So he's saying, I will show both the upside and the downside. The choice is always in your hand, whether you want to take the upside and rise above or choose the downside and fall below. But please remember, the Lord is always there to protect you at any cost, no matter what is the choice you make. Because He knows you're an ignorant being given to the human being fallible nature. Many 99.99% of the time you're going to choose the downside of life because you're lost to Maya. And after that, you're going to continuously have many more mistakes you will commit, because it's a cascading effect. Why? Because destiny has come into play. The moment the destiny takes over, then the divine master, the guru, cannot do anything. All he can do is cushion. The impact that you will feel is only 10%, and that itself will feel like, oh my God, this is too much to handle. At the end of the day, please remember, the choice is yours. So my Guruji told me, you can either be a Krishna's daughter or you can be this body's father's daughter. Whose daughter do you choose to be? The choice is yours. Because there are certain tendencies, inherent nature, vasanas we carry from many previous births of ours. And not only that, just because we are born in a particular womb, we get that nature also with us. But what the Guru teaches is how to overcome that nature. Use that nature for the good and well-being of this universe. That is what we have to do. We have to channel our nature, our tendencies, our qualities for the upliftment of ourselves and the people around us, not for downfall. My Guruji will say, I've never removed your anger, but he's made me control my anger quite a lot over the last 12 years of purification process. But he has taught me one very important lesson, which is, whatever you think your nature is, use that to serve the purpose of the divine Lord. Use that anger to fight in this world for the righteous cause. That is why that quality and nature is given to you, not so that you become a nobody in this world. So the truth is, please remember, you don't even have to ask anything. He will take care of everything for you. This is what is talking. This is scripture, the gospel truth. Everything is said here is a profound truth about who this Guru is. Why do we need a Guru? The importance of a Guru, and most importantly, how do you recognize this real master, the nature? Charitra is his nature and qualities and attributes, which is what you need to understand. This doesn't come so easily without his own blessing, his own grace, and without him giving you an audience to meet him. You cannot meet him. Please remember the truth. And when you have such a privilege, you better make use of it and don't try to talk nonsense to this Guru. My Guruji also was teaching, I don't want to know what happened in the material world, in your office, with your mother, father. Talk spirituality to me. This is what he'll teach everybody. Don't waste this time, because the time is limited factor. You know why? Because they are not going to be here for eternity. This is what we don't understand. As a human being, we get lost in the world of Maya, because Maya is very enticing. It appears so real. The truth you need to understand is, I am not this body. What does spirituality means? Spirituality means that I am the spirit and not the body. And who gives this understanding? It is given by the Guru. And who is a Guru? Guru Sakshat Para Brahman. The divine Lord manifests in the form of a Guru. So don't go by the fallible human appearance of your Gurudev. Whenever you meet any divine master, they will always appear so helpless. Let me tell you, my Guruji was narrating a very beautiful story of Gajanan Maharaj. And let me narrate what he gave, right? Because it's a very important lesson for all of us to understand. He said, Gajanan Maharaj visits a village. That village had no water at all. The wells were completely dried and there was no water at all over there. So he sees a farmer who was plowing a field, and this farmer had a small pot of water. So he goes to this farmer and says, can you please give me little water? You know what the farmer does? He says, you people come and ask me water. You think water is just available like this? I had to ferry it right from my home and come here. I've carried it on my head in a small pot. I just can't give you. Why don't you work hard? You people say you're a saint. He didn't say he's a saint, but you people are capable to work and you don't want to do any work and you just want water like that. See, I might not be able to use the exact words, but I'm just giving you the gist of the story which my Guruji imparted this morning. And then he says, I can't give you the water. So, what does Gajanan Maharaj do? He sees a well. And then he asks farmer, there is a well there. He says, there is no water in this entire village. It is completely dried up. So the farmer goes and sits, under that, near that well. He sits besides that, and then he is meditating. And literally the well is completely dried up. And then some ladies and passers-by see Gajanan Maharaj sitting there and, lost in his dhyana. And they're looking at the well there. And suddenly they come and peep into the well. From nowhere, water springs up. And then they all fill and drink. And then this farmer runs and comes to Gajanan Maharaj and falls at his feet, saying, I'm extremely sorry, please forgive me. And then Gajanan Maharaj says, you know what he said? I came here so that this village could get the water. This village needs the water. He said, I'm extremely sorry. He said, I didn't come for you. I came for this entire village. So the gurus think like this. The guru always cares about the well-being of this entire universe. It is not about just one person. And he is equal to all. And please remember, to each his own. As much as love you give him, that much you will get back in 1,000 times. He is only a reciprocate. He reciprocates what you give. So that is why it is extremely important what you offer Lord Shri Krishna. And there's a very beautiful update my Guruji had written a few days ago in his Facebook. If you throw anger, I will give back anger 1,000 times. So if you offer stale food, if you offer your greed, if you offer your lust, that is exactly what is going to come back to you in 1,000 more times. So why don't you understand this truth? What is that you offer is what will be given back to you, blessed back 1,000 more times. That is who Lord Shri Krishna is. He will reflect you. That is why it is important. He's only a witness. He's not involved in any actions, but he's a substratum of everything. The action happens in the material domain through his prakriti, the active principle. The divine Lord Almighty is passive. He's mere a witness. But everything happens under his substratum. He's the substratum of everything, this entire universe. And yesterday's satsang, my Guruji has said very clearly, where Lord Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna that please remember, the knowledge is only known to me alone. He's the universal knowledge, the knowledge almighty, because from him has emanated this entire universe, the creation. So you think he doesn't have an understanding about any being? He's the only one in this entire universe who has that knowledge. That is why we say he's the master of universe. He's a Satchidanand. So you need to understand who you open your mouth in front of. And in that, my Guruji also has said, people come and say, oh, I know this, I know that. No, you're coming here to learn. Learn. That little time that you get is very important in learning, because we all make our mistakes. What is the mistake? We know, we're using our petty ego, we think we know subjects, whereas we have zero knowledge. And the knowledge is not just about the material world. We're talking here about the adhyatmic, the spiritual truth. And please remember, what does the Guru do? The Guru removes your material worldly imperfections and perfects your spiritual understanding. That is what this great Guru does. So I don't want to go deeper in this more. Let us go ahead with the story, but we'll come back to my own experience. I'll recount that experience at the appropriate time. Therefore, he prayed the fulfillment of the blessings of Guru be deferred to his next birth. Sripada Srivallabha, divining the Rajak's thoughts, uttered his blessings. But then the Rajak said that he was too old already, and any joys were worth enjoying only when one was young. Therefore, he prayed that the fulfillment of the blessings of the Guru be deferred to his next birth. The Guru said, let it be so. What does it mean? Tatastu. The Rajak was born in his next birth in the Muslim Nawab's family of Vaiduri Nagar, that is Bidar. When he became the ruler, he was very kind to all the subjects, treating the Hindus and the Muslims alike and all the subjects as his own children. He used to respect Brahmins very much. The Maulvis used to feel envious and jealous of this. They tried to turn him against the Hindus, but the king never heeded them. He was very spiritual minded and believed that all religions, even Hinduism and Islam, are but different pathways to the same God. Absolutely. You know how beautiful is that? Yesterday we just having some simple conversation. I was with one person who was from Muslim religion, and we were talking about it, how people don't have the knowledge about the scripture, and they misconstrue the words as is because there is nobody they have learned from, and use the same thing to exploit the world, and use that, imperfect knowledge for their own selfish benefit. But God has never told that you have to kill somebody, talk bad about another religion. What is it saying here? He's saying Hinduism and Islam are but different pathways to the same God, same as Christianity or Buddhism, everything leading to one alone. That is why spirituality is not about religion. It is about knowing that we are all emanated from one divine being, supreme divine consciousness, and that has no name, form, nothing, nothing, nothing. I will call him Krishna, somebody will call him Allah Malik, somebody will call him Father in heaven, somebody will call him Buddha. You can give whatever name you want. That is what palatable to you. But everything leads to one divine Lord. And what is God? God is all about love. And that is one thing that is not existing in us today. We are all, each other's throat. The goodness and love has gone out of the window. So what does the divine master come here to do? Why should the Parabrahma manifest? So that he can teach us how to become our good self, how to be tolerant towards people, how to show love and be, compassionate towards everybody, and being kind and treating everybody one and all equal alone. But you have to understand, if there is a snake, that is also the creation of the divine Lord Almighty. Nobody is saying you have to go and pet a snake. Then the snake is definitely going to bite you. But you can stand far away and admire the beautiful creation of this divine Lord Almighty. That is what here the teaching is all about. You should be able to see God in everybody. And please remember, everybody is driven by their nature. The only one who needs to change are those, one is who are listening to the satsang, those who have a guru, especially those who have a guru and are learning under their guru, the tutelage of their great master. You better buck up. And if you do not pay heed to learn and live these words, then it is your downfall and it is your funeral. Nobody else can save you. Like my Guruji said, he can forgive your misdemeanors endlessly. But please remember that when the destiny takes over, nothing can stop the destiny from happening, and you will have to suffer for your own karma, and for taking with your own hand, you're going to cut off your legs. That is why my Krishna Guruji says, and Lord Shri Krishna also has taught the same thing. The choice is always given to you. He's going to show you the upside and downside of the same, the same thing. But the choice rests with you to choose what is right. Here, the Nawab was following his dharma of being a righteous king. That is why it is important. What do you think these lessons are? They are leelas. Why are they imparted? So that we understand the truth about how to live a God-pleasing life. Not just get carried away to the lust, desire, greed and insatiable desires, trying to run after, fulfilling the desires. Because of those desires, you will become a miserable human being. There is no redemption after that. You need to just do your duty, being detached, and do your swadharma, and just take the name of the divine Lord 24/7. Hari Bol. That is what you have to do. So he was very spiritual minded. What did they say? See, there are always people who are going to oppose when some good being are there. But don't worry. The benediction of the God is always on their head. So what does Lord Shri Krishna says to Arjuna? I am, where there is Arjuna and Lord Shri Krishna, there is goodness, righteousness, glorious, and victory will always prevail. So why fear? When you are walking the path of the Lord, divine Lord, please remember, Lord Shri Krishna is always on your side. He is not on the side of Kauravas. But please remember, the Lord doesn't side anything, but he takes the side of Dharma alone. To establish Dharma, he will do anything. Please remember that. So he's always with Arjuna as his charioteer. And who is this Arjuna? You and me. So we need to give the reins of our life into the hands of the divine master, who is going to run the chariot for us. He firmly believed all the Hindu gods are different but different facets of the same Allah, and that the various idols and forms which Hindus worship are but an aid for purifying and to bring the mind to one pointedness. What is it there for? To purification of mind. Why should we study all this? Why is spirituality required? Why should you be lost in the divine Lord? Is for this reason alone. He says, he firmly believed all the Hindu gods are different facets of the same Allah, and that the various idols and forms which Hindus worship are but an aid for purifying and to bring the mind to one pointedness, which ultimately leads to experiencing and realization of the formless, that is Nirakara. The concept of Allah in Islam, which is unmanifest, which doesn't have a form. It's a formless divinity. He was trying to establish harmony and cordiality in the relationship between the two religion communities. By and large, he was loved equally by both the communities among his subjects, similar to Sai Baba. Remember, the Muslims used to worship him and believe that Baba is a Muslim saint, but the Hindus believed he's a Hindu. And one day, remember, Baba said, what do you want to prove of me? Whether I'm a Hindu or a Muslim, how does it matter? I am God. God is love. Why are you having such a bias against religion? Please remember, no religion is bad. Religion is only a way of life. What is palatable to you? See, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji has said, the mother cooks the fish curry to one of his child, to somebody she makes a fish pulav, to someone she does a fish fry. So what is palatable to you, you can accept it, but don't say something else is wrong. No, God has taught that religion has to be used to kill people, destroy something in this world. No religion has taught this, let me tell you. God is universal. God is love. God is. Knowledge is. And it is Athanga Sagar, limitless ocean, limitless love, unconditional love. God defines unconditional love. It is we human beings who are like a dog's tail, kutte ka dum. We don't want to straighten it, and we use our petty mind to bring religion to destroy this harmony in the world and create all this differentiation. God has never taught anything like that. So always go to the divine Lord Almighty, that is the Master, who is the divine incarnation, a manifestation. And only the God can teach who a God is, not some ordinary human being. So when you have the privilege of such a Master, please revere him. Be very grateful to your life, because some merit that you have done, that you have this association in this life. So don't waste your life falling prey to this Maya. He was trying to establish harmony and cordiality in the relationship between the two religious communities. By and large, he was loved equally by both the communities among his subjects. You need to be this kind of a leader. What is again a lesson here? How should you rule? What kind of a king, what kind of a leader we have to be? Who is always a spiritual minded, who is following the path of righteousness. That is the kind of leader we need to become in our world. The Nawab developed an ulcer on his body. He tried many hakims and vaidyas, but no one could cure him. The pain and irritation was acute and was becoming unbearable for him. He was advised that if he visited the Papa Vinasini Tirtha and took bath in its holy waters, he might get cured. Further, he was told that a Mahapurusha, darshan like that of Sri Narasimha Saraswati, who resided at Gangapur, would certainly cure him of his ailment. Sri Narasimha Saraswati foresaw that the Nawab was planning a visit to Gangapur for redress of his ailment. He envisaged also that hereafter, besides the already heavy influx of Hindus and Muslims, people from other communities also would be pouring into Gangapur, with the result that the serene atmosphere of the place would be disturbed. What happens? It's amazing what is Narasimha Saraswati saying here. When they start knowing, see, when you perform miracles, my Guruji doesn't do miracles for this simple reason. The moment he starts performing miracles, people will follow, they'll flock there. Everybody wants, because everybody will come with their big katori. My child is suffering, I have sickness, I have diabetes, I have heart problem, I have my leg ache. I need a job, Guruji, I need marriage, I want to get married. I want happily married ever after. And then what else? I want $1,000,000. Begging bowl, and that too, it's like a bottomless pit. insatiable desires. They only come for that. Nobody comes and seeks God. I want to know God. Has anybody come to seek God? Nobody seeks God. What do they seek? They all want their material benefits. That is what they care about. Either it is sickness, it is about greed, it is about lust, it's about anything. It's only in this afflictions. It's all about afflictions, which lies in the three aspects: Adibhutik, Adidaivik, and Adhyatmik. Nobody is coming for the Adhyatmik truth. They don't want Adhyatma. They only want the material worldly afflictions, the grievances to be redressed and fulfill their insatiable greed and desires. But please remember, the one thing that you need to ask is the grace to redeem yourself, attain your spiritual will. That is the highest ask that you can ask this divine being. Don't go with your petty bowl. Please remember one thing. Every scripture, or whether it is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhav Gita, you name it, Guru Charitra, Sai Baba's Poti, one very important lesson is mentioned. What is due to you, you will anyways get it. There are no two ways about it. And only that which you need to get, you will get. Nothing more, nothing less. So don't keep coming with that. But seek your spiritual will. How to become your good self. How to overcome your nature. That is what you have to work with your Gurudev. Because that is very important. Till you don't wear yourself out, till you don't put efforts in overcoming your tendencies, vasanas, shadripus, where is spiritual will? Like my Krishna Guruji said, people in Vrindavan to everywhere will say Radhe Radhe. Simply, you go to Vrindavan, everybody will say Radhe Radhe. And the moment you look at them, you will feel, oh my God, they're very devoted. Devoted? The D of devotion doesn't exist. They can say Radhe Radhe, they can call Krishna Krishna, they can do all the great pujas. Krishna is not with them. Please remember, you think it is so easy to attain devotion to Lord Sri Krishna? Of course not. You have to first understand the truth about what it means to be devoted to the Lord. They don't even have an iota of knowledge. D of devotion doesn't exist. So don't go by what you see. What you see is Maya. And don't get carried away by that. The real spirituality lies in a very different capacity, for which you need the grace of Lord Sri Krishna himself, for the devotion to open within your heart. It is not so easy. And how does that happen? With purification of your heart, your mind, and surrendered unto the lotus feet of this great Guru. And this is why we are learning why a Guru is important. And most importantly, faith and following the Guru's instruction to the T. This morning, my Krishna Guruji was saying, don't get angry. You don't even have to be hypocrite many a time. It's okay. You have to praise people to the heaven, praise them. Doesn't matter. But be your good self. Understanding that they are ignorant being. You are getting the knowledge they are not getting. And this is the gospel truth, which is the truth I accept. So who should work more? We have to work more. The knowledge is coming to us. Those who are listening to this, those who have a Guru and who are learning under him, and those who are seeking a Guru. This is a very important thing. But at the end of the day, the one lesson that is common to everybody is being your good self. Going on the path of righteousness is everybody's dharma. And if you don't pay heed to what is being taught, that is your downfall. That is your downfall. Like my Krishna Guruji will say, it's your funeral. At the end of the day, I cannot do anything. That is all even Lord Sri Krishna says. Yeah, at the end of the day, I will have to save you, no matter what. But you have to go through all that painful misery and existence. Why do you need that? You don't have to go through that. Listen to me, no? When you listen to me, there's no Maya will not trouble you. But if you don't pay attention and don't listen to me, giving to your mind self-conceit and deceit, then you are going to fall prey to Maya. And that is why Lord Sri Krishna says even to Arjuna. Even what does he say to Arjuna? He says, Arjuna, giving into your egotism, you don't fail. If you fail to listen to me and taking your stand of not wanting to do what you are supposed to do, please remember, you will be made to perforce perform the same action as though born of your nature as though mounted on a machine, which means you don't even know you're performing the same action, that which you refuse to do so. Why do you want to get there? See, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, this whole universe runs under one substratum, and that is Lord Sri Krishna. So don't ever try to, mess with him. Use as much as your ego you want. Say, I will take your stand and say, I will not fight. I will not do this. At the end of the day, you're going to do the same thing because your destination is already defined, predefined. What does our Lord Sri Krishna says? The enemies already stand, slay by me. You just have to take your bow and arrow and shoot it. And if you say, no, I don't want to do, I don't want to fight, boss, you don't have a choice. It's like a gunpoint. I'm sorry. No, it's not a good point, but no, that is how it is. But we give, we are petty human beings, we fall prey to our mind. You have to do the same action. So why are you trying to fight the divine lord, who's who's your father, mother, everything? He's the one who's given birth to you, and you think you can mess with him? Please don't. And most important, the destination is already predefined. You have to just walk the path and reach that. And please, who's the destination? I am the way, the path, and the destination. Everything leads to that divine Lord Mighty alone. But what do you want to go with? Is it about hatredness, anger, egoism, misery, all that, or with pure love, with bhakti to him? That is what you have to aspire by performing nishkama karma, selfless action. Be a good leader. The lesson here is how good a leader you have to be, how good a king you have to be. See, today when we are not ruling the kingdoms, but today we are all leaders in certain way. It is also telling those who aspire to be a leader, those who want to lead in this world, how do you treat your people? How should you take care of them is what being taught. Today you go to any corporate world, it's a nightmare. You ask any great leader, everybody is going through their own misery over there. Everybody is looking for changing jobs. Why does that happen? Because they this righteous leading, the leading in the righteous way doesn't exist anymore. Everybody is driven by their own nature, and they're given into their motivated actions, which is for their own benefit alone. It is not for the well-being of all. So always think about everybody. And how does God think? God first thinks about his creation. He doesn't think about himself. That is why these divine beings wear themselves out to serve this universe. Can you be that? That is what you have to become, like Gajanan Maharaj, who came to that village so that he can give redress and he can bring water so that the people in the village can be blessed. Their grievances can be addressed. Such is the one. You have to become that being who is always there to comfort the people, remove their pains. That is why we are here. That is why we are the chosen one. Like Jesus Christ, Son of God, he was chosen to come and, redress the people with afflictions, give them that comfort and remove the adharma. Likewise, everybody, whether it is Buddha, whether it is Sri Ram, everybody had a purpose. So we all have to do our swadharma. The highest purpose of human birth is to attain spiritual weal. Number one. Number two is to serve the purpose of the divine Lord. That is why we have been born with this human birth, not so that you can get into, your enjoyment of your sensual pleasures, not for titillating your senses. The sense organs have to go inwards in attaining the God realization, the self within you. So coming back, Sri Narasimha Saraswati foresaw that the Nawab was planning to visit Gangapur for redress of his ailment. He envisaged also that hereafter, besides the already heavy influx of Hindus and Muslims, people from other communities also would be pouring into Gangapur, with the result that the serene atmosphere of the place would be disturbed. So what I was explaining is, when the gurus perform miracles and when they start getting that benefits, the whole world will flock. Everybody want to go there. So what happens? The moment this happens, the serenity, that nice atmosphere gets destroyed. The moment people come there, they contaminate. Go to Gangapur today and see what it has become. They have commercialized God. They have taken over that place. Only if you pay money will you get that Paduka's darshan. Whatever nonsense. God is not with money. The moment you take bribe, let me tell you, the divinity doesn't exist. The moment a man starts commercializing God for his own benefit, destiny has come into play. Maya has taken over. There is no divinity that is going to, remain there. The moment this happens, remember, Sri Narasimha Saraswati, now he will pack his bags and get ready to go back. That is what happens. It's a very sad state of affairs. That's how this nature, the universal law, the universal nature, like I say, a man's nature is a dog's tail. It will never change, unfortunately. So you have to be the change you want to see in this world. The charity, okay, I will not say that, I apologize. The change first begins with you. It doesn't begin with other. We are not here to change the world. Please remember, when you change yourself, then you can influence. Then people will start looking at you. Oh, look, he's able to do that. I also want to be good. That is what will invoke in another person. So that person will also want to be like you. Then they'll come and ask you. Then they will learn from you. So first, set an example. You have to set an example for the world to follow. It is not for other people to change. This is exactly what my Krishna Guruji said. I am not teaching the world. I am teaching you all. So you better be the change. You change first. Don't expect the world to change. The world is anyway not going to change. But first, I want to see the change in you. So be that. So don't ask, oh, I expect him to. What expectation? Don't have any expectations from anybody. It is for you. The knowledge is only coming to the chosen ones. It doesn't come to everybody because there is grace on your head. This knowledge comes only with grace. So rise now. Don't waste your time. So he thought that it was time now for him to renounce his incarnated form. You know how sad it is? And assume his invincible self. However, this would mean that the influx of people desiring to meet Guru Nath and seek his blessings for the mere fulfillment of their worldly desires. What did I say? Mere fulfillment of their worldly desires or out of sheer curiosity would be arrested through his sincere devotees. Sorry, I'm going to reread this again. He thought that it was time now for him to renounce his incarnated form and assume his invisible self. However, this would mean that the influx of people desiring to meet Guru Nath and seek his blessings for the mere fulfillment of their worldly desires or out of sheer curiosity would be arrested. Though his sincere devotees and earnest spiritual aspirants would still continue to come to Gangapur. So what does that mean? Who can see the Gurudev? Only his sincere devotees and those with earnest spiritual, those who are the earnest spiritual aspirants, only they can come to Gangapur. They will still come. But when you go there, you will be able to find Narasimha Saraswati, Lord Dattatreya there for you. You will be able to see even in that muck. But nobody else can see. He will become invincible to them. This is the truth. And a very beautiful, with this I will give you a very beautiful story about my own experience when this year, when I visited to Gangapur with my Gurudev. You know, Gangapur is very dear to me because of Narasimha Saraswati, Lord Dattatreya, my Gurudev's Gurudev. Just his word will bring tears. He's such a great being. He's such a great master, an avaduta. Just listening about him will be so beautiful. His leelas, his stories, he keeps manifesting at all times, continuously. So when we went there, my Guruji will never stand in any queue, and also he doesn't like, when people are taking money to do pujas, never appreciate any of those, and he will never even entertain such practices. So we straight go inside. He said it was too much crowd, and if you don't pay money, you will not get in to go to the special queue. So we didn't want to go and do all of that, because the moment you enter that queue, they will ask you to do some rituals so that they can make money, and we don't encourage such practices. So we went in the normal queue, but you know what? The Panditji or the priest over there will treat you like a piece of crap, that you're a nobody, you're a commoner. But what they don't know is Lord Dattatreya himself is walking there. It's such a sad state, and they are, shooing him away. So we bought prasad, the naivedya, to be offered to the Lord. And this man said, go away. So he shooed us out. So my Guruji said, just take another round, open that, just drop a bit of that peda, what we bought, in that, through the hole, and you come. So I came again. This fellow barked at me, the priest. I told him, can you please accept the naivedya? Just take this one. And he immediately just he tore open that packet and he took a little bit and threw like this. You think he has not created karma? Of course he has. And then I said, Dattatreya, please accept it. Thank you so much. And after the offering, the moment I came out, I literally got Lord Dattatreya's darshan. My Gurudev was standing there with a cow behind and the dogs around him. That is the greatness of this master. I couldn't ask for anything. I literally cried. It was such a joy at that moment in time that there's no one else who could recognize this divine master. It is such a sad state. But why does this great master go? So that he can establish the divinity over there. Because there is too much of a dharma that is happening. People don't understand the kind of karmas they are committing. I'm sorry. The Nawab came with his retinue up to Papa Vinasini Tirtha. There he saw a yogi coming to him. The Nawab, after making his salutations to the yogi, prayed him to help his ailment to be cured. The yogi told him the same what was advised to him earlier by the Brahmin priests. That with the mere darshan of a Mahanubhava, what does it mean? One who's the greatest bhav. He's the manifestations of the divine Lord Almighty. His bhav, the bhava I don't know how to adequately describe. It's like it's an expression. A bhav is an expression. This Mahanubhava, one who has the ultimate experience. Anything could be cured, and even death would flee away from him. Because you know why? He's Kal. Lord Shri Krishna says, I am the mighty Kala. So you think death can even come near there? No. But are you even worthy of that? First ask this question to yourself. You need to become worthy of it. Lord Shri Krishna says, I am the very essence of the Guru. When you worship the Guru, you're worshipping me, because I am none other than your Guru. He's my own self. That is why Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. He is the Guru of this entire universe. Indeed, such a Mahanubhava was Sri Narasimha Saraswati of Ganagapur. The yogi told him that he should proceed to Ganagapur and take the darshan of Guru Nath to implant faith and conviction in the Nawab about Sant Darshan Prabhav, the great benefit one earns by visiting a holy person. The yogi narrated the following anecdote. See, there are stories within stories within stories. Why is it being told us in different stories? So that this stupid mind of ours should understand, which will always, clutter your listening, clutter your hearing, and it will never even allow you to listen to the voice of the divine Lord Almighty. So you need to shut your mind and your mouth and listen. And what was taught yesterday? You need to do Shravan, Manan and Nididhyasan. Again, imagine this Nawab needs this conviction. Though he has the grace, he's supposed to be spiritual, yet he needs a conviction to go and meet Lord Narasimha Saraswati and have his darshan. There used to be one Brahmin living in Avanti Nagar. The Brahmin took to licentious life. He started eating meat also, besides being addicted to women and wine. Oh my God, yeah, welcome to our world. Women, lust and greed. Intoxication, women and intoxication. He took to a concubine called Pingala. Oh, this is a very beautiful story. But who was quite faithful to him. One day, a Muni named Rishabha happened to knock at Pingala's house, asking for Bhiksha. Pingala received him with great respect. The Brahmin also joined her in honoring him. They both worshipped him with flowers, smeared his body, and bathed his feet with perfumed water. They sipped his charan tirth. The water the holy water washed your Guru's feet is the charan tirth. That is the tirth you have to drink. What happens when you drink? All your desires, your insatiable lust and greed within your being is purified, and then you get the qualities of your Guru Dev. But that takes a lifetime. You have to be so devoted to be able to drink his charan tirth, and entertained him with delicious food. They made him rest there. They massaged his feet, and he had a sound sleep and rest. They kept awake the whole night attending upon him. Next morning, the ascetic guest, very pleased, left after blessing them. After a time, both the Brahmin and Pingala died. Because of the Muni's blessing, the Brahmin was born in a royal family in his next birth. His father's name was Vajrabhavu, and mother's name was Sumati. The king had many other wives, but Sumati was the queen consort Patrani. The king and queen were very happy at the birth of the prince, but the other wives of the king were very jealous of Sumati, and they were all the more worried that thereafter, because of his love for the child, all the king's attention would be centered on Sumati alone exclusively, and that they would be totally neglected and would be relegated to an inferior status. What is the greed here? Status, power play. They plotted to kill the queen and her child, and they one day poisoned the food to serve the queen and the child. See what level can a human being stoop down? What they don't seem to understand is everybody is destined. Whatever the merit or demerit that they earn is only because of their karmic actions. So why perform such sins? What is the use running after this power, fame, name, position? You don't need to. See, if it has to come to you, it will anyways come to you. But you just have to keep doing your job. Don't run after this. This is very dangerous. And what happens? Everybody's jealous of you and they are there to, wait for that one opportunity to pull you down. This is the way the world works. The bodies of the queen and the child developed most lesions. They started oozing out pus from the boils that was developed, emitting foul odor. The Vaidyas tried their best to cure the boils, but it was of no avail. The disease was proclaimed incurable. The king became very averse to the queen and the child. His other wives also weaned him away in their favor. He came to a decision to get rid of the queen and the child. One day he called his charioteer and asked him that he should take the queen and the child into the recess of the forest and leave them there as a prey to the wild animals. Can you believe? What does it mean? See, this is all teaching. Though it is an anecdote, it is a leela, it's a story. But the truth is, till you have that beauty, till you are favorable to somebody, you have something to give, and till that time you will be wanted. The moment there is no use for you, if you have disease and if you have all the afflictions, you are not looking beautiful and your child is no more use to, he or she can't become a king or a queen, then you have been thrown out. This is the reality and the truth about this material world. But one who doesn't leave you, no matter in what condition you might be, and that is Lord Almighty. So always make him your best friend, make him your husband, marry him. You don't need to go and marry any human being. Please remember, in this world, whether it is a man or a woman, there is no love there. You might say happily married after, I love my girlfriend, I love my boyfriend, I love my mother. They will not do anything. You don't know their nature. This is their nature. Why is our scripture giving these stories? To give you the truth about life. There is no relationship that which will stand that faith of test. But there is only one relationship that is permanent and that is eternal, and that is the relationship with God, because He is your parent. He's the one who has given birth to you. So be attached to Him. Don't be attached to anybody in this material world. Make Him your best friend. Make Him your best companion. Go to Him, seek Him and attain Him. That should become the goal of your life. The charioteer took the queen and the child and left them in the forest. The queen and the child could not find anything to eat. They were very hungry. She was plaintively crying, praying to God that He should end their lives, as they could not bear the misery any longer. Hearing the wailing, some cowherd boys came to her and asked her and the child to accompany them. They soon came to know that she was a queen, although both of them had been overtaken by a dreadful disease. They took them to a palace of their Vaishya king, whose name was Padmakar, and who was very kind-hearted. The king entrusted the mother and the child to the care of a maid servant, asking them to look after them very well. Although Sumati and her child were being looked after very well there, their disease was, however, becoming worse and worse. One day, the son died and the mother was inconsolable. At this juncture, Rishabha Muni happened to come to that palace. Hearing the wailing, he inquired as to what had happened. When he heard about the death of the prince, he could intuitively know who the child was. He recognized that the boy in his previous life was the same Brahmin who served him, though for a day, but yet served with great devotion together with Pingala when he had visited the house of the latter. Accompanied by the king, the Muni approached the woman and tried to comfort her. He said, "Life is like a bubble, which is transient anyway and would burst off any time." He said, "As death cannot be defied by anybody, we will have to reconcile ourselves to it and face it." But the woman was inconsolable and she was preparing to kill herself. The Muni was moved with pity. He smeared the dead body of the child with sacred ash, vibhuti, uttering some mantras, and also put a little of it in the child's mouth. He gave the vibhuti to Sumati also and asked her to smear it all over her body. Lo, the child rose up as if from sleep, his body shining golden bright and having no traces at all of the disease. Same was the case with the mother. The queen fell at the feet of the Muni and poured out tears of gratitude. See, even that little bit service that you perform to the Guru or any saint or the sage, that benefit is forever going to be there. And that little merit that he had earned in the previous life, the Brahmin, when he's along with Pingala, when he served this yogi, this Muni, that merit, redeemed their life. How beautiful is that? Imagine that little service can bring so much of merit. Imagine your lifetime of service to the Divine Master. What kind of a merit will bring to you? Ask this question to yourself. But please don't commit anything. No, don't commit any sin. Because imagine when you have earned that merit, it is an uphill climb. You're climbing a Mount Everest. So when you're entering the peak, the steep climb, if you make that one mistake, one small mistake, your fall is very, very hard, because you're going to fall a steep, right? The uphill climb, you're climbing a steep mountain, and there is something that happens, you will slide down right to rock bottoms. And after that, if you have to climb that same height, then your efforts are going to have to be tremendous. You have to put more, 100 times, 1,000 times more effort to get to that position again. So when you are at the highest, the peak, don't make any mistakes that will destroy your divinity. And please remember, Maya is always going to test you. There are going to be a lot of tests coming your way. Why the tests are important? So that to understand how much, how well and how strong your spiritual understanding is within yourself. That is why these tests are important. But please remember, never leave your Guru's hand. Always hold on to his lotus feet and his hand. He will hold you and walk you through that path. So always listen to that Guru and have absolute faith. No two ways about it. If he says the sun is rising in the west, it will rise in the west. And that is the gospel truth. The words from his mouth will make that happen. So never doubt and never question. So we are at the end of the hour. So I will continue this lesson tomorrow. But I'll read this one para alone. The boy later came to be called as Bhadra Yuvar, that is one who has secured assured longevity. When he grew up, he became king and lived for a long time. Such is the power of the darshan of Mahanubhava. Just the darshan of this yogi, the great saints who visit you, has so much merit. Imagine how much merit will you earn when you are completely devoted and only serving them. That is the greater good you can do for yourself. But don't fall for Maya. Let me warn you, Maya will always entice you. Your Gurudev is going to give you a choice. The choice to rise above or fall down. And if you choose Maya, you are going to fall down. Even God cannot save you. So always choose the Divine Lord Almighty and evolve that path. You will be redeemed. With this, we will stop the story here and we will continue tomorrow. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. Wishing you all a very happy Wednesday. See you tomorrow morning. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunath Nathaya Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.